The way
Cameron,
you said that.
I know. I'm from Grand Lake, and we ended up kind of country. We have country. We're more country.
Yeah.
We go hang out with. We go talk to other people from like Mamu and Iota. Iota. And Eunice. Where are you from? Man, I'm from Eunice.
Yeah, Eunice. My sister-in-law, she's from Villeplat.
My dad always tells the same joke. So we're all from Grand Lake, and we always go to Lafayette. Like his CPA's there and stuff. So we always go to Lafayette. And now every time I tell this joke, I have to say my dad tells this joke. So I'm going to do this forever. And so one time he's leaving Lafayette and he said, man, I go to a gas station. That must have been a 95-pound, 16-year-old girl checking me out. Beep, beep, beep. He said, I looked at her and I said, you're from around here, aren't you? She looked at me. She said, man, how you know?
Oh my God.
When I do the intro, is I have the intro-y voice and then I start talking like that. Like, hey, how are you doing? I'm like, okay, I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to relax when I do this intro. It's like, okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Subjectively Successful. Today, I have Miss Carter Prejean, Ledbetter Prejean, and she is from the ripe city of Jennings, Louisiana, booming metropolis.
Hey, we are a booming metropolis.
You really?
Sure.
I mean, Lake Charles cannot really say a whole lot. We've shrank 35% in the past 5 years. So we got to be real careful talking smack. Okay.
Hey, we're small town, but we're making moves for sure.
I know. And it's marketing a small town is not what you see on Instagram. I have learned that. It is very different.
It is very different, but very cool. I'll say that, to say the least.
No. So, okay. Well, Carter, tell me, I would love to know, because I can't wait to get to, like, we're both marketers. And I don't know if we have similar approaches, read the same books. I cannot wait to get into it and see what we like. We might agree on stuff, disagree on stuff, but we have very different industries.
Yeah.
All right. So I come from tons of nonprofit, lots of attorneys, lots of white collar. I've done a lot of doctor stuff, chiropractor stuff. And then you do completely different. So tell us, like, what do you do for a living?
Of course.
And just nerd out. I'm excited to hear all about it.
All right. Sweet. So, like you said, my name's Carter Ledbetter Prejean. From Jennings, I graduated from McNeese State University in marketing. I lived here in Lake Charles for 4 years. Loved it.
Who was your favorite professor?
My favorite professor would have to be the ball guy. Is his name Turpin?
You like Turpin?
I think that was his name.
I liked.
He was bald. He had glasses, but he was always so nice and very helpful. And to me, it made me love McNeese because the professors were so personal. You know,
I liked Lonnie.
I think I had him one time.
Lonnie was my buddy. You know what I would have to do? I would always like barely make the cut. And like I needed like a 2.5 to keep my stuff. And I would go talk to Lonnie and be like, hey, can you talk to this other professor and just convince him to give me another chance? Yeah. And he would be like, Mr. Sellers. And Mr. Sellers, what'd you do wrong this time? Yeah. And he said, you're going to make a great salesman and entrepreneur because you don't do the work and then you convince me why I should let you do it a second time. I was like, you're correct, sir. So, I mean, I graduated from McNeese too. I think that's really cool.
But
go. I don't like, they're going to hate me.
Go Pokes.
I don't like the finger gun.
Oh my gosh. LSU is always the L. And then I always are like, Go Pokes.
I thought LSU was.
Oh, maybe so.
I can't believe we got that. Okay. So it's okay. I need to do the finger guns. I've graduated from there. I should be kind. Okay.
Alumni.
What is it?
Go Pokes.
I wrote an entire marketing campaign and video for them that I'm not brave enough to pitch yet.
Oh, I can't wait to see that because you are definitely going to show me before I leave.
I almost want to do it on camera, but we'll think about that. So, okay. Went to McNeese, graduated in marketing from Jennings. Continue on your career.
Yes. So, after I graduated, looking for a job like any new grad, and I applied for the marketing position at the convenience store chain ShopRite and Tobacco Plus. I had no idea about convenience store, gas station, nothing. I was just kind of like...
They market?
Yeah.
I thought they just exist.
Yeah, right?
I can't wait for you to go, you're wrong.
So when I got there, obviously I had some social media experience. I had taken an internship here in Lake Charles for USSSA baseball. It's like that travel ball. So actually,
I'm from Southwest Louisiana.
Yeah, so you know.
If you don't know what that is, what rock do you live on?
Right? So that was like my first, you know, job, I guess you could say, in marketing.
That's a cool, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So I enjoyed that. My bosses, the Odoms from Lake Charles, were so good to me, and they pretty much like always taught me to like reach for the stars. Before that, I was a bank teller, and that's kind of like where I figured out that I was really good with people. Actually, like through the drive-through, that was like my job. A couple of my customers and my coworkers they were always like, Carter, you're just so good with people. You should go into marketing. Because when I was in college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in business because that's what my family knew and, you know, all of that. I just didn't know what avenue I wanted to go in. So switched my major to marketing, got the internship, graduated, and I applied ShopRite Tobacco Plus. Their headquarters are in Crowley. That's where I went to high school. I went to Notre Dame. So did the interview process. When I got the job, they sat me down. They were like, okay, so we have a loyalty program that we like need help with, like app design, loyalty, like studying the analytics, all these things. And they're like, can you do all this? And I'm like,
no. Oh, yeah. You said,
yes.
I was like, don't you love how companies in the past 20 years, they say marketing, but what they mean is 14 different things.
Exactly. Well, I was, you know, young and eager. I was ready to like work, all the things. So as I started doing research on other like convenience store chains, I was like, wait, this is a thing. Like in Louisiana, we have ShopRite Tobacco Plus. We have like one of the biggest convenience store chains like locally owned here in Louisiana, but like in Florida, they have Wawa. In other places, they have like Quick Trip. And so I like started looking at all their marketing and their loyalty. And I was like, wow, this is like a thing. Like, you know, they have like big conferences about this and like parade. Yes, it's like.
They have conferences for convenience stores?
Yes, it's like huge. Look it up. It's called NACS. And every year, it's
why do they call it snacks?
NACS. NACS. I think it's like National something convenience store.
What a missed opportunity. As a marketer, what a missed opportunity. So what conference are you going to? The snacks conference.
Right?
Like, where they cost more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a convenience store joke, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, come on, keep up.
So with ShopRite and Tobacco Plus, I, you know, do their loyalty. Obviously, a study like what people are buying with loyalty. Tobacco is a huge, huge, huge thing in loyalty. We work a lot with tobacco companies getting deals out. And, you know, everyone, if you are a tobacco user, you're always looking for a good deal. So with loyalty, the tobacco companies actually like pay to be on your loyalty app. And then, you know, so that I do a lot with that. And then I also work a lot with like Coca-Cola, Frito-Lay, Pepsi. We also have deals in our app that are just loyalty driven, whether it be like 2 for $4 Monster Energy. Yeah. And then we also do like cents off per gallon. Like if you spend money in our store, you'll get like points. And then with those points, you can use them for cents off at the gallon, at the pump.
Yeah. So really, really, really like tried and true traditional ways of marketing or like remarketing, right?
Yeah.
Is because look, no matter how cool and hip and modern, there's always going to be like rules to the game and industries that change differently or change slower and things like that. Doesn't mean they're doing it wrong.
Right.
It just means marketing means something different for them.
Yeah, for sure.
So for you, do you ever have to like go to work one day and because marketing with everybody that has evolved a lot for us, and it's like obviously revenue is really, really important, but like influence and, you know, social, like followers on social, or not just, well, I hate follower count, but like social
that definitely doesn't define you for sure.
So social influence and the ability to like grow in revenue off of organic and personal branding is a big driver. But like in your industry, what do you consider success in marketing for you?
I think whether it be with ShopRite, because I also do my own little social media on the side. Carter's Creative, that's what it's called.
Very cute.
Yeah, thank you. But with success with ShopRite, I think really it's when someone comes into our store and they say that they had an awesome experience, whether it be with a cashier or how clean our store is. I think that's the biggest marketing that we can do as a small business. Obviously, having the product in our store, we want people to come back, but the biggest compliment to us is definitely clean store and friendly customer service. But on success for my Carter's Creative, the social media part, I really do think like I enjoy making people feel good about their business. Yeah. And I think it's hard sometimes for people to brag about all the things that they're doing with their own business, I guess you could say. So I really find joy in bragging for them, like on social media. I think that's like the biggest thing, like, because there are so many people that I do work for that they're doing a great job. They just feel like, oh, I can't post this on social media. It makes me feel like weird. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Let me do it for you. And, it makes it better. I don't know. Yeah. I find success in that, bragging about people's stories and how they're working hard and doing what they love, whether it be, helping others or just doing a great job, whatever.
No. Okay. So check this out, because when you say that, it shows you that. So like I have my methodology in marketing, right? So I'm a huge advocate. I'm obsessed with like buyer psychology, buyer behavior, right? And have you ever read Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller?
I think I've heard of it, like on TikTok, but that
will change your life because it teaches you the power of narrative marketing. Okay. And so the game has shifted where hopefully this is, if you don't do this, this is something that you're going to be like, oh, it'll take your energy that you're currently already investing in something. And you'll see that same energy that you're like, oh, this marketed well or this went well. If you tune one or two little things, you'll get the results just skyrocket. And so one of the things that he teaches you is that, and I use it in everything, is like if you position yourself as the hero of the story and you do very product-driven marketing and very benefit-driven marketing, it feels more transactional. What happens is, on a conscious level, it causes us to pay attention, but on a subconscious level, that's not what makes us buy. Like we make most of our purchasing decisions off of what helps us survive or thrive or feel like we're part of a tribe, right? And so when I teach people about their marketing, most of them, they're like, well, I'm not getting results. But I don't understand. If you go to our website, it says we're the best in Southwest Louisiana. We're the best here. We're the best at this. We sell this. We sell that. And Julie, who was here yesterday, I said, "Why? Hey, tell me," she does the bra fittings. And I said, "Tell me your," and she goes, "Well, we have a personalized experience and we have hundreds of bras to choose from all around the world." And I was like, oh my gosh. I go, what a breakthrough moment. So I want to know if you do what I'm about to explain. So I explained to her, I said, man, what are people actually struggling with? Like if a woman comes and sees you, what is she struggling with? Oh, I said, is she struggling with not having enough options in her closet? Is she struggling with wishing someone was in her closet personalizing her fitting process? She's like, oh, no. I go, and why is that what you're talking about? I go, why wouldn't you say, hey, have you had a backache after the end of the day, every single day? I go, why are you being cut into? I said, why wouldn't you hold up one of your products and say, hey, do you hate when your chest looks like this?
Right.
Well, this actually fixes that. And she's like, you can say that? I was like, yes, that's all you should say, actually. And so like my methodology is I instantly define their ideal customer. Who's your ideal customer? I want to know what they think about where they consume media, their age, how much money they have. And then I'm not going to market to the whole town. We're only going to speak to them, speak to the problem that they need solved, and then give them a simple solution, onboarding process to solve that. And all of our communication in the marketing space, not branding, is going to be focused on that. So what do you, when you're like writing copy or designing products, websites, or anything like that, what does that process look like for you? Like, what do you?
So
did I even frame that correctly? Like, do you think when you're thinking of marketing someone's products, like what does your thought process look like? What's your creative process look like to help them get results?
So the only products that I've actually had to like market would have to be our Cajun food that is located like inside of our ShopRites,
which is not easy to market.
I
would
food,
assume,
especially at a gas station, is a huge struggle. But to really make it an experience for this person, because obviously people who have food in their gas stations do very well. Look at Buc-ee's. Like people, it's a destination. It's not even like people will hold it. They will hold to use the bathroom to go to Buc-ee's and stop and eat, right?
I was like, if we would take this exit and go on the tollway, we would save more money. I don't want to go through Baytown. Oh, we have to go through Baytown. So it shows you how powerful that is.
Right. So we have 2 truck stops on I-10, and we are trying to market it to where it is a destination, but for your Louisiana type food. Buc-ee's has your barbecue, your tacos. We have your shrimp po' boys that are like overstuffed, and we make sure we get a ton of customer content of them like having that
experiencing that,
in our, whether it be our cafe or our deli or whatever it may be.
I didn't even know that was I didn't know that was a thing.
Yes.
So if someone is so now let's change where the goalposts are, because I want other businesses that even maybe they have food or they have something similar to what you're doing, right? So now your goal is, what do points on the board look like? Okay, well, I want someone who's driving to separate us. If I were consulting with you and for you, I would say, okay, how do we get someone who's driving to separate us from I just get gas there to I experience something there? Because there's a big gap between you and Buc-ee's,
right?
But it's fillable. Like it's not impossible,
right?
So now if I'm sitting there, I don't know if you buy. I do a lot of stuff by myself, like me in my office by myself with a whiteboard, and I would say, okay, how do I drive that brand and thought process? Is, hey, let's just stop and get gas somewhere. And they go, oh no, I want to go to ShopRite. Remember they have the
shrimp po' boys.
They have shrimp po' boys.
Yeah,
like that's it. I'm going to psychotically almost now think, well, who would say that? How old are they? I wonder where they're driving. I wonder how fast they're driving. Do I put it on a billboard? Do I put it in social content?
So
do you think like that?
I do. Okay. So we do have so like coming in from Texas, there's Lake Charles, but you would have to take the 210 loop, right? Well, from Lake Charles to Jennings, there's really not much. It's about just open field, not a lot to stop at. So Jennings, which is the first stop of one of our cafes, that's the first stop. So in my marketing brain, I'm thinking, okay, we need to be having billboards that lead up all the way.
Make them hungry.
Put the shrimp po' boys on every single billboard until they get there. Because honestly, unless you're stopping to use the restroom at like, some random Chevron or Exxon, you must really need it. But if you can hold it to
Get to Jennings.
Why
don't you put that on a billboard? If you could just hold it a little longer. Oh my God.
Jennings, please. No.
Oh my God. By the way, so I've got to give you the most random compliment ever. Do you know this is when you laugh? Do you know who you look like?
Oh my gosh, who?
You look like Amelia Clark.
I don't even know who that is. Is she like an actress? I don't watch movies, y'all.
You're going to go viral.
I'm sorry.
For the best reason ever. She's beautiful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
She's the girl Daenerys Targaryen from Game of Thrones.
Okay, I don't watch that.
We'll show her blonde.
Okay, yeah, she's very beautiful. Now, my husband did watch Game of Thrones. He binge watched it like in 2 weeks. He'd probably be so embarrassed.
That's respectable.
Oh, wow. Yeah, she is beautiful.
He's either going to be happy or I run Game of Thrones for him. We're going to have to text him and say, apparently when I laugh, I look like.
What was her name?
Daenerys Targaryen.
Okay.
Or you could say Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I would definitely be friends with your husband. If he can binge watch Game of Thrones in 2 weeks.
And then he watches, what is the other one that came out? I think it was
House of Dragons?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I waited till all 10 episodes, all of the episodes were out so I could hit it
really
in 3
just
days.
binge it?
Oh, yeah. I can't deal with the waiting a week thing. Just, no, not a thing.
I literally do not watch movies. Is that weird? Like, if you name a movie, I have not seen it. 100%.
Okay, so I'm gonna challenge
but
you.
I love music.
Well, that's okay. That's
I
fine.
know.
So I'm gonna blow your mind. Okay, I know some. I guarantee you, there's some. Do you like chick flicks? I'm sorry. I hope that's not like
No.
atypical.
Yeah. I mean,
You've got a. Okay, what about like really powerful stories? Like you didn't watch like Forrest Gump.
seen like bits and pieces.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Okay, so can might be the whole reason for this episode. Watching. Okay, so they did a study where humans, one of our survival mechanisms is daydreaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible for marketers. So we're dopamine addicted or we're distracted, right? So if you're going to start working with clients and building your own business, if you can learn how to tap into this, you'll get them results faster with less energy, less effort, less money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a good marketer, great marketer or brand expert, if you lower the amount of input need to the revenue, one, you can charge more for less. They're okay with that because it took less thought process, but they make more money.
Mm-hmm.
If you become a movie watcher, is that you?
Yeah.
Were you in that?
You can. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So if you, so here's what movies do. It's one of the only times in our entire life that we don't daydream because we're in a story.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that Donald Miller teaches, you got to read this book.
I know,
now you're going to you're going to go want to watch movies too. Just if you're analytical, you're going to want to prove him right or wrong. Is they found that the reason that we don't daydream during movies or commercials is because we insert ourselves into a story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, imagine if I have to find a movie. What's a movie? Have you ever watched a movie or a show that you did like?
Okay, so last night, it's weird that we're having this conversation. We went to see Wicked, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not a big musical guy, so that may not be the best example. Okay, let me guess. Let's see if I'm good at what I do.
Okay.
I bet you $100. Please don't lose $100. I bet you $100 that in the first 5 to 7 minutes, you're introduced to a character who wishes she could become, achieve, or do something above her current capabilities and was introduced to somebody who's going to guide her or help her get to that.
Yes. Last night. Yeah.
That happened, didn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. Okay.
$100.
Okay. Do you know why I know that?
Tell me.
Because that's the only way to make you watch it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the only way to make you watch it is if you started that movie and she already had it all figured out, why would you keep watching?
True. Very true.
Because we as humans, we feel incapable, incompatible, or unprepared for a future version of ourselves or something. We want to either make more money or sleep better or run faster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at every marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Wear Nike, run faster. Buy a Tempur-Pedic, sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's, buy a Cadillac, be more respected, or BMW, drive faster.
Mm-hmm.
That's the undertone. Why are you actually buying it? Okay. And so movies, what they do is, you insert yourself where you're like, you're her. Was that Ariana Grande's character?
Yeah, she was Glinda. And I don't know who
I never did Wicked. I'm not a big
Wizard of Oz.
Sorry, Wizard of Oz.
It's okay.
So why do you make that face, Shammy? I watched Pitch Perfect. Does that count?
Did you watch High School Musical?
Okay, can I tell you a story about High School Musical that you're going to judge me on? So I worked at Sears for like 6 years, okay? They caught us one time on the security cameras. We were so bored. We had no customers for like days. They had High School Musical on every television for months. So they caught us in the room. I wish we still had the flip phones. They recorded it and sent it to us. We were in one of the rooms where they put the big TV, like the fancier TVs in there.
Stop.
Me and my coworker in the room are going, we're all in this together. It was at the move.
Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
We learned every single move. I don't remember it now because it's been like 15 years.
Yeah.
So did I watch High School Musical? Hundreds of times. And Zac Efron in his greatest theatrical appearance.
Yes, Zac Efron.
I knew every single dance.
Yes.
And so, yes. But, okay, we'll go back. is how crazy is it that the power of, it's called narrative marketing, is so good that I knew for a fact if you said that movie's good, that's what happened. Okay. So now every product, I want you to think about this. I'm going to go on a rabbit trail. I hope that this pays off. What's one of the last things you bought that you were excited to buy?
Yesterday I bought the Shark.
Everything's yesterday.
Sorry. Fridays.
That's fine.
Yesterday I bought the Shark hair dryer, but like also I cut my hair yesterday and I did layers.
Did you use it this morning?
It's coming on Monday.
Oh, okay.
But I am very excited to.
Okay. Now let's see if this whole thing works, right? So did you see it once and buy it? Or did you see
a little bit of research first on the TikToks?
Yeah, usually you saw it on TikTok. Someone used it. Their hair looked like crap before, looked really, really great afterwards, right? And then there's a little bit, you usually go to the website and see how much it actually costs. It's either more or less than you expected. And then like you go through this process where in your mind, you're actually being like, okay, is this worth this much to do, for my hair to look like that? And you kind of visualize it.
For sure.
And so your brain just does a thing where it says, does it help me survive or thrive in a tribe? And you're like, well, maybe not doing your hair is survival, but well, as someone, I am a little bougie about I do get a really nice, I think it's my best feature. Everybody has like features they do or don't like. Everybody's like, what's your best feature? I was like, well, I want to be 6'2". I got decent hair. I'll just go with that. And my name is Michael Jordan, which is hilarious. And I'm white and not that good at basketball. So joke's on me. Okay. And I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know where I was going with that. So with the Shark thing, usually the process is you just do like this little mental math where you see it being used or operated and you insert in your mind, usually TikTok is a good example. You see someone with hair similar to yours.
Yep.
And it looks like yours before and you want it to look like hers afterwards. Right.
Yeah.
And then you just go, let me see, what would that sell for? Let me see if I'm good at this because I've never looked at it before. How many TikTok videos and clicks did it take you to buy?
So this whole week I had obviously searched on TikTok for the Shark. And then of course, like Dyson is more expensive. So I knew I didn't want to spend an arm and a leg on a Dyson for my hair, like a blow dryer. Like, no.
Do the people say
they were actually doing like
good, but not as expensive, right?
For sure.
That's a huge thing. So you're going to say that multiple times. Great marketing, right?
For sure. For sure. Times. So I was like, okay, people are, because my hairdresser uses a Dyson, but she's also, as her profession.
$230.
Right.
Right?
Well, Dyson's like, you're looking at $600, $700 for a blow dryer. The Shark that I bought yesterday.
Wait, don't tell me.
Okay.
It does is it as not, well, you don't know, it's not in your hand.
Right.
So it's a blow dryer. Does the thing, I'm going to say if it wasn't under 200, you would have convinced yourself to spend 600. That would be my logic for them attempting to like get a staple and brand it correctly. So I would say if you opened it and it was over 200, you wouldn't have bought it so quickly. I may be so wrong here. That's okay. This is why we do this. I'm going to say like, it said maybe 229 or 239, but after discounts and stuff, blah, 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 it was like 179-ish, 189.
So
am I close?
Oh my God. It's kind of weird, but I bought the Dyson yesterday on the Black Friday sale for $229.
People, I do this stuff all the time.
Someone get him a lottery ticket from ShopRite right now.
Okay. I am, okay, so I think I'm obsessed with the where we price things and pricing. So you bought the Shark for $229 yesterday?
Yeah, it was on the Amazon Prime.
For $229.
$229.
Okay, so I was close.
Yeah, of course.
I was a little bit off though. So
I don't remember what the regular price was though, I'm gonna be honest with you.
So I should have went with my gut. It was $229.
Yeah. But I thought it might have been like $3 something maybe. I think. I don't remember.
Like their branding is good enough to position it at
but
300.
But you're talking about the blow dryer, you're talking about the comb, you're talking about the...
Oh, there's multiple products in it?
Like, you get to choose the handle that you want to use. So, like, blow dryer, and then you take that off, and then you can do the round brush, so you can round brush your hair, and you take that off, and then if you want to curl your hair, you can curl it.
Okay, well, I would have went higher than 179 if I
that's why Dyson's 600.
600. Okay, I thought Okay. So 229 versus 600, easy buy. I wish I could. I almost want to go look at their website and see.
See, I didn't even look at the website. I literally only did research on TikTok.
Did you buy it from the TikTok shop?
No.
So Amazon. You still went and you went straight over to Amazon.
I knew that Amazon was having their Prime Black Friday sale.
Our producer just sent it to me. Let me go look and see. Wow, $229, $299 is what it is regular. Man, go ahead. Well, I can't wait to see your hair.
I know, right? Be sure to check it out on the socials.
Follow my socials. And see me using the Shark HD 430 Flex Style Air Styling and Drying System. Powerful hair dryer brush, mini styler with auto wrap curlers, paddle brush, overbrush, concentrator attachment, stone. Visit the Shark's store. It does look really, really nice. Okay. Yeah. So
I don't even know where we were going with that.
We were talking about narrative marketing and storytelling and how important it is. So now, if you're ever thinking about your customers and things like that, it's crazy how now you've got to become more, go read Building a Story Brand, become more obsessed with understanding movies and getting people to stop daydreaming. Your job as a marketer is to get them to stop daydreaming, insert themselves into a story where they buy your product. Okay. Now, one of the things I don't want to talk about, it's on my notes, is somehow us talking about personal branding, because I have a feeling your career is about to pivot where I don't know if you'll stay with ShopRite, but if you're going to start taking on clients and maybe consulting or coaching, you totally have the look, by the way. I'm surprised I haven't seen you on stage before. Like you command authority. Like you have a really, really good look and a great voice. So if you pivot, you're going to have to start building a personal brand, Carter.
Yes.
Are you working on that?
I am working on that. It's actually something I've been praying about for a long time. And I think I love my small town. I don't think I'll ever leave. But I do enjoy, like, every now and then I'll go to a place and people will be like, because I share, my thing is on my personal brand right now is the outfit of the day. I post a story almost every single day of my outfit of the day. Okay. Yeah. And it has made people comment to me, whether it be a guy, a girl, anywhere, like in the grocery store, they're like, oh my God, I love your outfit of the day. Like,
that's a big deal.
It is. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like people are actually, like I'm building a community to where people, whether it be a girl or a guy, that they know they're like, not like watching me, obviously, but they're being more aware of, like, you know, I'm like, and then in my head, my marketing brain, I'm like, I'm building a community. Like,
no, it's
kind of working, whether it be my outfit of the day, maybe I could pivot to something else.
Okay. So wait, I got a question. We're going to go back to that. How do you define marketing versus branding?
Ooh, that's kind of a hard one.
Ooh, I told you I wasn't going to ask you any hard questions, but I've noticed, and I think there might be.
Gosh. I don't know. Like marketing to me is like your numbers and your analytics. Maybe that's because that's what I've done for a long time.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna blow your mind.
And then for branding, I feel like making your brand known is who you are as a company or a person and the experience that you have.
Definitely experience.
I don't know if that's wrong or right, but well, in a quick answer, that's
welcome to the world we live in, where there's some objective like definitions with subjective nuance, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things that I would challenge you to start thinking about is I use the term exposure, mm-hmm. especially if you're in the paid ad space, billboards, things like that. Exposure would be when I'm thinking of is how do I get as many eyeballs on this thing as possible? Now, the marketing brain turns on the minute that I switch to, but how am I moving them from stranger to buyer? Mm-hmm. Right? So when I think marketing is if it's not eliciting a purchasing decision, like if it is not making someone go from non-buyer to buyer, now there's a 55-step path sometimes. Mm-hmm. I get to go, I'm not strategizing of how to make them behave differently or buy something.
Right.
Now, brand is, I agree with you 100%. Brand is, it's how you make people feel.
Yeah.
You know, so one of my good examples I like to ask people is, what do you think, if you had to say, if I ask you a question, so what do you think Target's brand is?
Ooh, Target's brand, clean,
better
than Walmart. And I'm not just saying that because my brother literally worked there forever.
I know, forever.
But
shout out Wayne.
Yeah. Shout out Wayne
with your awesome beard.
Yes.
I just saw you yesterday, and I should have high-fived you. And here's why that is so powerful: is have they ever put that on a billboard?
No.
It's never been in print. Never been anything.
I don't even know. Like, Target might have a few billboards, but you don't even need it. Mm-mm. It's the experience when you walk in.
It literally is. I need something, but a low enough amount of things that I would much rather go buy it at Target than Walmart. Yeah. Right? So we're going to go. Now, their marketing might say, well, not enough people are buying. Mm-hmm. So what if I were to create an ad that said, we launched this new men's line that is as good as Nordstrom's for a quarter of the price. Now, you can't say those words. They'll figure out the right words to say. And the exposure, the analytics of it are, where do I place that to get in front of as many eyeballs as possible, right? For the least amount of money, because I have a budget. Even Target has a budget.
Right.
Right. And so that's why I use that branding, marketing, exposure and once they're there, the undertones of that ad, what they think about, and then what the experience is after that. That's our brand. What goes after that. And so actually, we agree on that.
Yeah.
We agree on that a lot. But way, way different. It's crazy. I come from the church world where the analytics are almost not allowed to be talked about because it makes it feel like you're tracking people instead of having authentic.
Well, and I will say, like, this is, I don't know if it's just my marketing brain, but I always think that a non-denominational church or any church, they have the best marketing. Like, they really do. Like, the going live, like everything, it just makes you want to participate 100%. I really do. Like, their marketing is like one of the best. And it's, I don't know if it's just maybe in my town or
not good enough because you're still
I am still Catholic.
I mean, look, it's fine.
Hey, and I even teach catechism. I literally.
Oh, you're like in it. Yeah. Dang.
Married in it.
Don't throw that holy water at me over there, okay? So.
But I love learning about like all kinds of different denominations. Yeah. Like literally,
same theme, different ideas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're all loving Him, and all the things. So.
I cannot believe that I just said it on a podcast. Well, apparently, marketing's not working good enough because you're still Catholic.
I do appreciate the marketing, though.
Yes. But, oh my goodness. So how about this? Let's say, how can we provide? Okay. Is there any question? So let me give you like a tiny synopsis of like my background, and I'll give you another example of kind of how I turn what I do into media for people. Is what's a good example? Because I want you to be able to ask me a question where you would be like, if I had a client, or what would you do different? I'm going to try to set you up, so I'll give you something to think about so that you can ask me some questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So when I say I have a nonprofit and church background, is yes, I was the guy that would make you see the correct billboards. And I remember our 2019 Easter campaign for Church of the King. We were a church of 850 to 975, somewhere there. But we had 2,400 people show up on Easter Sunday across 6 services, right? And that marketing campaign, I remember I just stuck to my guns where I said, hey, when you go on camera, Pastor, I want you to specifically say, look, sometimes we live in a dark world and you feel lost, lonely, left out. And sometimes you feel hopeless. And if you want to know what Easter is, it's going to be a great experience. We've been planning it for months. Most of all, it's about hope. Easter, that's 5 years ago. And I'm almost getting emotional because he trusted me so much with that. It was like the height of my career for sure. And everybody says, well, why do it that way? Like, how do you, what was the culmination of how'd you get to 2,400 people? And I said, because if you would have asked anybody on the worship team, on any of the teams, on any of the videos, anything on social media is like, man, why are you going to church? It's like, I feel like I need it.
Oh yeah, of course.
I feel like I need it. I need to go that Sunday. I need to go that Sunday. It wasn't fake. It wasn't cringe. We actually believed every word that we were going to say.
Yeah.
And oh my God, a creative team planned for like 2.5 months and it was a wild experience. I got to play drums for it. It was awesome. But that's a marketing. Like that's how I market. That's my methodology is what story do I want you inserting yourself into?
Yeah.
Is, hey, we've got a great church and great musicians and I'm going to preach a great message and I think that it's going to be really, really great and you're going to have a great Sunday with your family and take some really great pictures and it's going to be another Easter Sunday. And he's like, well, why don't we do that? That's what we do every Sunday or every Easter. I'm like, no. It's like, we kind of live in a hopeless world and it's okay to admit, you know, it'd be great if you found hope in Christ. If you found hope in community.
Right.
You found hope in walking into a place you thought you weren't good enough to walk into. Now I'm going to preach. And we're waiting for you in the parking lot. Say, you're good enough because God took the time to create you. If that's you, we have a seat for you this Sunday. Across 6 services. Then it got really elaborate. On Friday at 6 p.m. And people would be like, oh, it's so cringe. I'm like, shut up. I actually have to say the things.
For sure.
So if that's my like core methodology of just how I function with attorneys, with doctors, everything. It's, you know, what are you struggling with? What are you afraid of? What are you concerned with? What's a problem you need solved that we're going to attempt to have the Prozac for?
Prozac.
Right? Is that good?
It's funny.
It's true.
It is.
And so, like, if you were trying to market yourself or your personal brand or ShopRite, I don't care. Like, if you know anything about me, like, nerd out with me. What's a question you would ask me about marketing or branding?
Okay, I have a good one. So a lot of people not like make fun of me, but it's always a conversation about where I'm from, like small town.
Yeah.
And how would you market that town to be like a place where you would want to live and raise your family? And we could use Jennings as an example.
Okay. I already know. Like, it's quick.
Tell me.
I would market it exactly who you are. Is the world is running so fast away from a front yard that's quiet with your kids. Like if I were filming your video, so let's say the city of Jennings came to me. Here's the pitch. City of Jennings comes to me and says, Jordan, we have 30 grand. Okay. We have 30 grand. We need a video. We need social spots. But could you consult us on the direction that we would go? Right. I would 100%. I would partner with either developers or people who can deliver on the promises that we're making.
For sure.
And every part of that message, because I want them to insert their mind into that, is why would I live 40 minutes away from civilization? Why would I do that? It's because civilization kind of sucks.
100%.
That's the whole message is it's so loud. The world is so loud. I mean, exhaustively loud. But in Jennings, it's quiet. You want to go hunting? You don't have to drive an hour and a half. You drive 15 minutes. Am I lying?
No, not lying.
It's literally 15 minutes further south. All your everything's there, right? Okay. You want to go to church? Is it 20 to 40 minutes like Lafayette and Lake Charles? Or is it 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I want you to, and so I'd film a video. I would legitimately go in there and I'd film a video. I would I don't know if we would do this. I would show like a kid like waking up in the morning, or like a kid and a dad, like different aspects of the same nuclear family. Cause I would definitely show a nuclear family. Husband, wife, 2 to 3 kids going to church.
For sure.
Because that's most of Jennings, right? And I would show them all waking up differently, and then them knowing the mailman that walks by, and them knowing the person that they go to. And then when they get home at night and they go sit on the porch, the only sound that you hear is the sounds of the grass, the kids playing, maybe the little, you know how y'all got the train, like you can hear the train passing by, right? It's there. Don't hide it.
Yeah.
Like in the background. That's how my brain works. I would see that and just says Jennings, Louisiana. It's like why is something like it's not an escape. It's where you stay. Some like a play on that is where my mind would go. And I would I'd tell the story via interview. I'd tell the story via a very, very unique, like follow the life of or the night of. I'm just letting my brain go. That's exactly how I would do that. It's not an escape. It's just, this is our real life.
Yeah.
Do not run from that. Don't act like you're bigger than you are.
Yeah.
Be Jennings.
For sure. And I think like some advice that I kind of have, and I have another question to ask you after I say this,
Please.
but I think for the longest time, I thought that to be successful, I had to live in Lafayette or I had to live in Lake Charles. But I've come to terms that I'm successful just where I am. I'm successful with my house in the country with my husband, and we live by nobody.
Say that again. I mean,
you know,
look at the name of my podcast is if I heard another person say, they don't even know how much it like bothered me. They go, I just think you're a little too big for Lake Charles. You should move to Houston. And they thought that made me feel great, but it reinforced, I don't actually want to leave.
Yeah.
Nothing in me wants to leave this town. And so, do you know how many people out there, you know how many entrepreneurs that work for their version of ShopRite and have their little white picket fence, or maybe they forgot to paint it, it's still brown, and or live in a small town, and Instagram is like, when you move into the West Coast, when you move in New York, when you move in, and this false sense of success based on
what your address is.
What your address is.
Yeah.
No, you legitimately can run a 7 and 8 figure consulting or social strategy or online community from your living room.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm gonna speak this over you. We've got a little twang. I try to hide mine. Mine's like if I hang out with the right family and go like a margarita deep, it comes out. And actually, people that aren't from here, they don't pick on you. They actually celebrate it and think it's the greatest thing ever.
Awesome.
Wait till you meet my people from Britain. My number 2 and number 3 for my company are both from the UK. And they are just like, I love your accent. Y'all just keep talking. It's the cutest thing ever.
I should have brought my dad on the podcast. He has such a Bayou accent. It's so bad, y'all.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of people from Mamu and some from Opelousas. Oh, dog, they get that Opelousas. You can't even understand. Sometimes I always say, it sounds like they have molasses in their mouth.
Yes.
Say, poor baby.
I know.
Okay, what is your,
I have.
That's powerful. This one we talked about a lot of stuff. That's powerful. It's just like, let's go ahead and put a stake in the ground. Is that I can live in my tiny town, and I am not less than, right?
Yep.
Oh, I'm not a freaking Instagram model that makes $10 million a year. You know what? If the Gary V. Do you follow Gary Vaynerchuk?
That actually sounds familiar. I think so. What does he post?
He posts, like garage selling. He does a lot of garage selling.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
But he owns like a $700 million media company. But you know him from garage. Welcome to social media.
Yes.
Right? He's a marketing guru. I read all of his books. And he talks about one of his best family friends are so happy. And he goes, he's so jealous that he's just a firefighter. And I always talk about like side hustles with him. Now you're talking about someone who makes like 60 grand a year versus one who makes like 60 million. Like just put that in comparison. And he goes, it pisses me off how happy he is. He goes, because for him and his little family, she's like, I don't want him to work more.
Yeah.
I love that he's home so much. I love that we have nothing to care about and we're just proud of our daddy.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's success. From the guy that makes like,
I know.
he makes
it's
so
true.
much money.
It's so true.
That's why I started this podcast, is because I went to a really dark place a couple years ago because I hung out with people that it's money, 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 money. Turns out they're also the ones that sued me and wrecked the company we started. Who would have thought? Obviously. So thank you for saying that. I don't know how you got there, but it's profound. Little town can have big dreams.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're not fake.
No.
You can have little town and little dreams and still be successful.
Yeah, for sure.
That's okay too.
Another, how I define success is leaving the place better than it was. And I think sometimes, whether it be your company or the place you live with, I don't know, I'm a big advocate for community development and helping smaller businesses. And I think if you just help them and give them a little bit of confidence boost that, I can make a difference in the small town of,
wherever.
Yeah.
That is a consulting role. I will say, and I want you to don't forget your question, is I want to nudge you in a direction. A lot of what you've talked about today, I want you to go learn and read more about branding and separating those two, because you have a very natural about the way something feels. And like you have this comfortable prominence about you. Like if you would have told me you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, I would have believed you.
Oh my God.
And then you smile and laugh and you're just like, I'm just from Jennings. Right? That's a gift. It really is a gift. Okay. And so there's a brand, you have a walking, talking brand without you selling or marketing anything. That's going to be an effortless thing for you to teach somebody. I bet you if you walked in a small town with a bunch of billboards and you go, something feels off. You didn't tell them, well, your billboards didn't lead me the right direction. Your natural bend, and if I'm wrong, tell me, your natural bend was, this could feel better. Mm-hmm. This could feel better.
Yeah.
I think you're a branding expert with a natural, because look at your clothes. You're not selling clothes. You're branding it in a feel. It's like, I feel good. You should feel good too.
Yeah.
You're not selling anything, right? You might be a branding expert that has learned marketing. Your innate sphere of genius is, how does this feel? Doesn't mean you're not a good marketer, but how crazy would it be if you're like, I woke up with zero training or effort, a branding expert, and could speak on like how that feels. And so I want you to kind of, if you go read marketing books and you're like, this disconnects, you might go read a book about branding and authenticity and be like, I already know all this. Lean into that.
Okay, I will.
If you read a book and you
will.
go, what the heck? Why do I know all this? I've never read this before. I think that's a gift from God.
Oh yeah,
and you should totally lean into it. If you love marketing and you go read the marketing books and go, hey, you were wrong, that's okay too. You can go, hey, Jordan, no, that's completely fine. What is your other question?
Okay, so I asked you about the city, but on a ShopRite perspective, this is where I struggle the most, is tobacco. I am not a tobacco user. I drink, but on occasions, like, not really big. So let's just say we have a new cigarette line coming. How would you, with marketing, you really can't promote tobacco on social media, all that good stuff. But how would you encourage, let's say, the cashiers or the managers from a marketing perspective to let the customer know, hey, we have this new cigarette brand. It's cheaper.
Yeah. Okay. So let's tune the terminology. Let's do it again. If you can't post it on social, you're not marketing it. Okay. If it's not on the billboard, you're not marketing it. We're going to shift to that's sales and brand. So if the company says it costs half as much, but is just as good, it's good branding, right? If they enforce that somehow, that they do it enough to where the person tries the cigarette or puts the dip in and they actually believe what those words were, right? Okay. Now let's talk about, because what your goal isn't to market it better. It's to just increase sales.
Right.
So how would I increase the sales of that? Someone who's like adamantly against tobacco use, like my poor mom struggled with, she was addicted her whole life.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my sinuses are still wrecked because she thought smoking at the back window would help. It does not. It still goes through the whole house.
Yeah.
And so I hate the smell of cigarettes. But to increase sales, I would incentivize it. So if you can pay spiffs, I don't know if you're allowed to, but I would take someone, especially if they're a $9 to $14 an hour employee, I would increase spiffs and then add their sales percentages to their review and their pay raises. Like strategically, that's how I would do that. And then force the company, if I take it a step further, I would force the company to invest in, hey, instead of putting money in more billboards, I would like you to give us, I would strategically create more spiffs for the cashiers to where at the end of the month, they don't get a $12 bonus. They get a $75 bonus. And you go, hey, there's your Christmas money. At the end of the year, you made $1,000 more by asking for them to buy this one and this one. They will 100% do that. Producer just said, define spiff for viewers. Okay. I do not remember if it's an acronym, but it's just a spiff was like if I did a credit app at Sears, I got $2. So they called it a spiff. Is that an acronym?
I know what you're talking about. I just didn't know what it was called. Like we've done like incentive programs. I don't know. Maybe you could call it an incentive program.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Do you want to ask me another question? I can answer it like really fast. I feel like I kind of rambled.
No,
you good?
You did a great job.
Okay.
Whenever you do any of your personal stuff on Instagram, are any of them closer up to your face, and are you laughing?
It depends.
You would have 100% already gone viral just because people would have been like, "What the heck? You look like her." Just when you laugh, it's it's the coolest thing ever.
Well, that's I'm gonna try and practice more of a face thing on Instagram. That's probably one of my biggest struggles, like with brand and myself.
Do you speak on camera?
Yeah, I make reels and all kinds of stuff all the time.
Do you do the voiceovers or do you actually talk?
I actually talk in front of the camera. Voiceovers I probably struggle with the most.
I was completely wrong. I thought it would be the other way.
No, like you put me in front of a camera and
you just go to town.
Mic'd up.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm weird. But
weird. I mean, we're cut from the same cloth.
Literally, it's for ShopRite. Like to me, like I don't know.
You actually get on. You do their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Film and cut.
Come on.
Yeah.
So you're one of those marketers where they make you do everything.
I learned a lot.
That is par for the course for marketers. Just so you know, you've been on I didn't know that. I'm so sorry.
Wait, tell me what.
Well, you talked yourself. You're very humble, I can tell, and you approach this like, "Hey, I'm just let me on I'm okay in the podcast." I think you're formidable. I think you've done a lot. I think you have a great between your family background and what you've done for ShopRite and how well versed you are across different industries. You're a much more formidable force than you give yourself credit for. I think it's the small town thing.
Probably.
Yeah, and like legitimately, I can speak from this. So if my larger agency, consulting agency, was a little bit further along, which it will be soon, I would headhunt you.
Oh my gosh.
Like you're that good, because there are people that when I get in the weeds and I talk about consumer buyer behavior and this and the other, I could see you talking to that same person and be like, "Hey, he's in the clouds, and I promise once the rocket ship takes off, we're going to go there." But what's it feel like when people are flying? And I could literally see I'm speaking this over you. Welcome to hanging out with some non-denominational people. I know you've heard that before. I'm speaking this over you. I legitimately could see you in the room. I'm telling you, and saying something that simple. It's like, "Well, what is it? Come on, God, what does it feel like?" And then everybody going, "Ooh." For some reason, you command that, which is crazy because you're so humble. If I could figure out a way to employ that or let you just do consulting or something, we're very similar, but very, very, very different. I'm very psychotically results driven, where I want someone, I'm going to tune everything to make you think, act, and believe a certain way. Sorry, that's how I market. Some people are like, "Well, wait, there's more to this equation. How does it feel? What do people?" And I just want you to know that is freaking cool. So before we wrap up, did you have any more questions for me? Did I answer
Yeah, for sure.
Did I answer the tobacco thing? Oh, the last little nugget on that is just, I would say, if anybody's in a position like you, where sometimes we're in marketing or business development jobs for products that we don't use, like that's normal.
Yeah.
Right. And I think a lot of people, that's okay. Like you might literally work a decade it's like young kids selling investment things. Like they're financial nerds, but I mean, come on, you're telling a 60-year-old dude what to do with his money. Well, some of them are really freaking good at it. And so if someone is in a position like you, is just sit back, bust out a whiteboard and say, "Okay, well, I don't smoke, but what would somebody who was already purchasing a cigarette want to hear and want to say?"
Right.
Or what told to them. And so then you just draw a little sales funnel and just strategize it. So draw a little funnel and say, "Okay, well, they're already talking to the cashier purchasing. What are they saying? Let me go listen." I'd go focus group it. Let me have 2 of those. What's cashier say? Okay. All right. Well, we got to change that.
Right.
Step 3.
Yeah.
Don't say okay. Say, have you tried? Would you consider? It's one of the best lines in sales. Hey, would you consider, or if I could show you something that costs 30% less but tastes even better, would you consider buying it? What are they going to say? Oh, consider it.
Yeah.
Right. And then incentivize that transaction, that part of the transactions. Only way it'll happen. I don't believe in incentivizing people in dictatorial manners. It's like, hey, do this or you're going to lose your job. They're going to hate you. Incentivize it. And then I would even find some way of, I'm in the weeds with you. I would ask the manufacturer to do some sort of follow-up, a coupon or some lead magnet that gets a text and a phone number or an email address that they can now continually remarket to.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you just got $5 off that carton. To get $5 off the next carton, scan this, get their phone number, their email address. And I would market the cigarettes just like I market a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Is top of sight, top of mind, right? That would legitimately, if you hired me, if you're like, hey, they want me filming these videos, you go make that whiteboard bleed.
Yeah.
That's not my job. That's your job. That's what it would say on it. Is that a good strategy?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Perfect strategy.
Are you going to steal it?
Running with it.
Yes. That's good. That means it was a good strategy. Now, I am, just before we go, so one of the things that I'm working on is, and I'll say as briefly as possible, is, so I have a production company. Like this is all my equipment. Like I own all this. Okay.
Nice.
And so I'm a cinematographer that some people don't just say, hey, what would you do? They say, that's a good idea. Can you film it too? Right. So it's really cool. So like the city of Jennings, you 100%, if you called me tomorrow and said, hey, that thing you talked about, can you film that? Yes. I have a director who has filmed multiple Lifetime and Hallmark movies that works with us. So we could really create some insane stuff for the city of Jennings. And so we could take Jennings to Hollywood by showing what Jennings really is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Shameless sales pitch. So go ahead whenever you're, by the way, word of advice to people as marketers, we don't diminish our value by employing or delegating to someone who excels in the one thing we don't.
100%. And I think that is the biggest thing as a leader to admit that, Jordan.
Oh.
I love it. You are a leader. I love that.
Becoming.
Yes.
I thought if I don't do it all, they won't love or respect me. Right. Oh my God.
No.
You know what my Slack board is? It's a bunch of people talking to my people doing their stuff going, I freaking love you. Yeah. They're not even asking about me.
Yeah.
They don't even know. It hurts me. Yeah. They're literally just like, wow, you're awesome. Wow, you're awesome. Why I want to be like, I'm awesome too.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't care. Hey, and you know what they text me at the end of it? Thank you so much for connecting. I love your team. So that's a good little nugget. The other thing I'm working on is I'm making this membership. It's almost done actually. It's going to be called the Entrepreneurs Growth Hub. And what I learned, and we've been doing this a little while. I think you're a bit younger than me.
I am. I'm 28.
God, you're a baby.
I am a child.
You're a decade younger than me. Oh my God.
You said it on camera, not me.
I thought you were like 20. I knew you were younger. I thought I thought you were like 25. When you said you finished your degree, I was like, she must have finished really early and like really plunged in. So congrats. That's awesome that you are really advanced in your career for your age. I think that's really good. He just said, nah, you old, Gramps. That's what the message board just said. So, okay, well now I know why I don't mean this as like I'm here, you're here. Now I know why when I'm like buyer behavior, buyer psychology and stuff like that, I've spent 12 years after I finished the degree learning what the degree didn't teach me. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why do I feel like I'm an old dude that, well, actually am. I've been doing it 10 years longer. I'm like, why? You're just like, hey, this is simple. Like, we're in the trenches still.
Yeah, I am in the trenches.
That is good. That is okay.
But I think I've been learning a lot. I've been learning a lot about myself, a lot about marketing, especially, it's moving fast every day.
Yeah. Agility is huge in the marketing world right now. So that's it. Yeah. I'm making this, goodness gracious. So I'm making this membership, and I think that people like you are a perfect fit for us. I have this crazy idea where, as you get a little older, what happens is some of the things that you get very, very good at when you come from a small town, this is a challenge you're going to deal with. So if, let's say you do become this world-class consultant and all this stuff, your partner from Jennings is going to call you to ask you to help with his business. But let's say your hourly that used to be $75 is $275, right? Or $375. We don't know what it's going to be. You've actually, the person you'd love to help, you're like, how the hell, what do I do? I created this membership because now our hourlies for all this equipment and the overhead of our consulting team is so much that people in startup phase, I don't get to help as easily.
Yeah.
So I was like, what if I create a membership with a full database to help people grow and DIY themselves to success for under $100 a month with full support?
That's awesome.
You can go ask a question, and the first 6 months, it'll be people from Britain until I get someone locally. And she'll just be like, it's your chap. She's going to hate me for doing that. Here's a 5-minute Loom video explaining exactly what you just asked. This is how you fix it. That page went down on your website. Common theme, right? Here's how you fix it. And then twice a month, we're going to do strategic coaching with everybody that I'm going to lead.
That's awesome.
Where you get to ask questions. So if you say, hey, my Instagram was growing, now it's not growing. Can you help me with this? And I'm going to say, absolutely. Hey, let's spend 15 minutes on Carter's Instagram. Everybody else can watch for under $100.
For sure. That's a steal.
Okay. Well, then that's good. Shameless plug 6 after all of them. Did you learn anything impactful or meaningful today, Carter?
Yes, I learned a ton, actually. You gave me a good bit of confidence. I think sometimes I kind of lack that in some ways. Yeah. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you, obviously. Honestly, when he told me that, like when you said that you would want to interview me, I was like blown away. I was like, oh my God, he actually wants to interview me.
Do I look that?
He is professional. I was like, this dude's the real deal. Like, this is it. This is my time to shine.
I'm gonna start
this guy.
I'm gonna start blushing.
Oh man. You should have heard. I told the whole family. I was like, I got this podcast tomorrow. Like,
come on.
Yeah, I told.
And
my husband,
they were like, no, Sha, really?
Yeah, my husband was like, relax, like you're gonna do fine. I'm like going over the questions again last night. I was like,
I needed that more than. Oh my.
Oh yeah, I was stressed. I was pressed.
Thank you so much for telling me that.
Of course.
Is the reason why I think I encourage people so much to see what the greatness that's inside of them is it's just because of some crazy relational trauma, work stuff, lawsuits. I've been through a lot of stuff where all of those interactions were either the devil or other people. It's like if they can keep you under their thumb, they can control you.
Right.
And so if you understand the greatness that's inside of you, your capabilities, you'll stop leaning on them for your belief system.
For sure.
And I've struggled with that for like 20 years, just starting to break out of it. So the minute I see someone show 0.2% of it, especially if they're as young as you, I'm like, you better not believe any of that crap. You are awesome. And if anybody tells you otherwise, I want you to throat chop them and tell them Jordan said otherwise, which apparently carries more weight than I thought. And so thank you so much just for telling that. I try to stay super humble, but you can be so humble that you self-deprecate, that you actually don't believe in yourself enough. And so, holy crap, thank you for that.
Of course.
Next time, just bring the whole family. We'll have a Cajun cook. Let's do a Cajun cookout in Jennings.
Yes.
Jordan, we'll call this the Jordan and Jennings podcast.
There we go. Jordan and Jennings. Oh my gosh.
Just please tell me you have one relative that'll be like, man, that's a lot of stuff there. Yeah.
Oh yeah. My dad would be tripping in his kitchen.
Oh my God. Oh, promo in the cam.
Okay.
Don't get nervous now.
Get nervous. Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Carter Ledbetter Prejean. I'm from Jennings, Louisiana, and I do social media marketing for small businesses. I really love helping local people thrive in the business world. So don't think because if you have a small business, let's say Jennings, Welsh, Lacassine, that you can't be successful. with my help, I can help you reach your goals and be successful and tell your story. Don't feel embarrassed to brag about your business and what you're doing. There are people, whether it be me or other people out there in the social media world, that would love to tell your story for you. Yeah. And also I know I might be young, but I think I am very good at what I do with social media marketing, just because I'm not old. No, this is so bad.
Is that a shot at me?
Cut.
I don't have to be as old as Jordan to be
No,
good at what I do.
I think a lot of people look over young people. Like they think of them as lazy or whatever it may be. And I think like Gen Z, everyone says that about Gen Z. They're like, oh, they're lazy. They don't want to do anything. So,
and so don't look down at your skills just because you understand where your shortcomings are, but you understand where your strengths are, and that's okay.
Do I have to redo that?
No, we're leaving that exactly how it is because that's real. People are gonna be like, I freaking like her. Yeah, she's not. Is because your ideal customer. If we did a whole new episode, we would just do identifying ideal customer avatar, or do this as like a course video we share with other people. And if your ideal customer or client avatar is a small town business owner, like they don't want you perfect and polished. Like I would have to take this jacket off, dude.
Right?
It's like, or you're an aspirational character. Listen to this, that they're like, I wish I was a little more put together like her. So if you are confident but country, that's your ideal. But you landed perfect.
Confident and country. New Instagram bio.
Straight out of Jordan's mouth. And just that's really, really good. And a little tagline is, and I want to say this, and this will be the ending, is, just because you're from a small town and have a small business doesn't mean you can't have a big impact, really big dreams, right? And defining what success looks like to you, it may just be your town going, damn, bub, I'm proud of you. You might make 32 grand a year and barely be able to pay your mortgage, but a damn, I'm proud of you might be the win.
Yeah.
Because that's a big deal. You might also live in a small town with a $120,000 truck, because I've seen those guys too. Yeah. Guess what? Good for freaking you. Yeah. They're both a win in my book, as long as you wrote it down and you're willing to go for it, right?
Sure. 100%.
And you can help them get there.
Yes.
Okay. So, got to figure out how to hire you, because everyone that is a small town, like, they talk to me, and I'm just going to be honest. Sometimes they talk to me and I'm just like, I just get the clouds too fast. And I'm like, how much money, how big, and how much do you want to go? And they're just like, I just want to make sure my employees have Christmas bonuses. Yeah. And I want to be well respected. And I'm like, golly, I got to bring, why am I in the clouds already? And I'm telling you, I'm figuring it out because you would be like, just ignore him for a minute. Let's get back down to earth. And they would love you so much more. So thank you for your time.
I appreciate it.
And I hope that people see this and they absolutely fall in love with you, because you kick butt.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode. Make sure to take a moment to rate the show, leave a comment, and share with someone you care about. For more ways to connect with Jordan and his team, visit jsellers.co.